One of the most common questions I get is how do I balance being a Harvard PhD candidate with also being a founder? And that's what I'm going to answer today. If you're new here, I'm Shay. I'm the founder of Analog Social and various other ventures. And I'm also a PhD candidate at Harvard. So, the difference between a PhD student and a PhD candidate is that a candidate has completed all the requirements for the doctoral degree except their dissertation. So, oftentimes you'll see ABD, like some people will say I'm ABD instead of saying a PhD candidate, and ABD just stands for all but dissertation. So I am currently working on my dissertation, which gives me the privilege of being away from campus and being able to essentially work on my dissertation from anywhere in the world. This is how I balance everything. So for example, it is currently 11 p.m. when I'm recording this. I had a brand photo shoot today, worked on my dissertation, a lot of errands, currently traveling a lot. What has helped me is to understand that the key to progress and the key to success is deep work. This is Cal Newport's idea of deep work. So, Cal Newport defines deep work as professional activity performed in a state of distraction-free concentration that push your cognitive capabilities to their limit. The first thing I do when I wake up, other than my morning and daily devotionals, is I prioritize my dissertation. So I get a minimum of 4 hours of deep work done every day. That means I'm locked in. One time, my sister FaceTimed me because she loves to FaceTime. She FaceTimed me and it was like really dark, but it was like daytime where I was. And she was like, are you okay? And like, this is actually like something that a lot of people know about me when they FaceTime me. I always look like I'm in CIA bunker. Like she used to be like live from Shay bunker, which is wild. But yeah, basically dark room, noise canceling headphones on, and I work consistently for 4 hours straight. So that's the thing. When you're working on a dissertation, you have to make an original contribution to a field of academic knowledge. That requires large amounts of reading and sustained writing per day. You are picking apart arguments, you're forming new arguments, you are trying to connect seemingly disparate parts of the world, in my case, and different intellectual concepts together to form a dissertation. That takes deep, sustained amount of time and work. And Cal Newport contrasts deep work with shallow work, which is this idea of like those meetings, the admin stuff, things of that sort. So it's better to have long stretches of deep work and then do the admin stuff. So imagine if I was like during like Pomodoro for my dissertation work, and I was like 25 minutes working on my dissertation, 5 minutes like working on something for Analog Social, 25 minutes dissertation, 10 minutes working on something else. The back and forth is just too much, going from shallow to deep, shallow to deep, shallow to deep, shallow to deep. So making sure that I have minimum 4 hours of deep work per day. So that's the thing. And I think this is important when we talk about work and what that's going to look like in the future. It's not necessarily about the amount of time that you spend on a project. It's about the depth and the intensity and the quality of that time that you spend on that work. So minimum of 4 hours. And then I let the world back in. I turn off my do not disturb. I call it mid-level work. So I will do a little bit like lighter reading, some secondary literature research. So deep work is usually for primary research because I'm dealing with very old documents and old writing. So that takes long periods of time to look at and to decipher and to analyze and make new conclusions and things of that sort. I basically treat it like a 9 to 5 because my dissertation is a 9 to 5. So at least 4 hours minimum, and then the next 4 hours is like a bit lighter work, so I don't mind switching between things. Then in reality, the nights and weekends is working on analog, especially with all my other ventures as well. It's about making sure that everything is on a calendar, number one. Number two, I would say it's also about prioritizing based on my weekly goals, monthly goals, quarterly goals, yearly goals, what needs to be hit at what time in order to keep making progress on this front. What is up to me versus what is up to somebody else or somebody else that I'm working with, right? So being very clear on that system is what keeps me sane and it is what keeps me extremely organized. So that's very important. And I would also say I'm also big on understanding the seasons of life that you are in. When it comes to balancing everything, I don't know if I really enjoy the word balance, because there are certain seasons where you really need to sprint. You really need to get certain things off the ground. You really need to be working around the clock to make things happen because you have multiple commitments, right? So some of the things I'm doing right now is so that later in the future, don't call me when I'm with my kids. You know what I mean? Emergencies only. I'm putting these systems in place. I'm hiring these people. I'm starting this thing. I'm putting all of this together so that there is a period of my life where it's like, no, I am watching my kids eat dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets. I can't come to this meeting. It's about understanding, like, okay, there are seasons when you need to sprint. Like, I think President Obama actually said this quite well. I don't know where this interview was, but I saw it on my timeline, and he was saying, like, yeah, like, when I was president of the United States, I did not have work-life balance. When I was running for Senate, I didn't have work-life balance. You know, it's like, now I do. It's like understanding what season of life you're in and what that is going to require from you. Also understanding the seasons in which things will ebb and flow. Like, you'll need to spend more time on work or school or other things that you're working on up until a certain point, right? So like for one of my companies, I'm like, okay, once we reach a certain benchmark, 110% hiring a CEO. There's this assumption that founders want to be CEOs of their companies, and it's like, no, like I don't want to, carry that specific title for every single one of my companies, right? For example, I consider myself like an idea person, a visionary person. CEOs are meant to execute. So for example, I write the vision down and make it plain, and CEOs help me execute. And you make sure that this thing happens, and it happens either quickly or whatever the pace is supposed to go at. And you do that very well. So it's about understanding those different ebbs and flows. So there are a lot of young people and students and people from different backgrounds that watch my content either on my personal page or wherever they follow me for whatever venture that they're following for. And it's so important for me to show the content of me working on my dissertation while also working on other stuff. There has been a trend I have been seeing online of people, young people, high school, dropping out of school to pursue content creation or entrepreneurship or all this other stuff. There are some unicorn cases where dropping out it worked out in the end. The Mark Zuckerbergs, Bill Gates, some other people that you may follow online. Those are unicorn cases. Please do not drop out of school. At the very most, take a leave of absence. Get whatever you're working on to a certain level so that it can run without you. In reality, this is just good business practice. Anything that you are building, there should be enough systems in place where it can run without you. God forbid something was to happen to you, the thing can continue and outlive you, essentially, right? So don't drop out of school. Got my bachelor's from the University of Chicago. I have my master's from Harvard, and I'm currently working on my PhD. Now, if you're in graduate school, this is a different story. I'm talking to people who are more so in high school or in college thinking about dropping out because they're like, okay, I have the next big idea. I want to show that you can work on your next big idea and still be in school at the same time. I don't want to sell this idea that's like, oh, it's going to be easy. It's hard. It is very hard. But if it wasn't hard, then everybody would be doing it. Just an encouragement on that front so that people know that it takes a specific kind of person to be in school, to have to manage their time, to have to manage their resources, and also be building at the same time. So I hope videos like this are helpful to demystify how I'm doing anything. If you have questions or want me to go over something else or things like that sort, comment it below and I will try to make another video. All the stuff that you have come to know and love is being built out of love and really good work ethic. And I just want to emphasize this one more time. The extraordinary behavior, like the fact that it's close to midnight and I'm still recording this and trying to get things out. It's only for a season, right? It's only for a period of time, especially when it's the early stages of something. You just want to get enough systems and people in place so that you can pass it on, right? None of us are going to live forever. So being able to pass on a company or a legacy or a project is so key. It's so important. So, all the overtime and the work and stuff like that now, I'm going so hard at it right now. because I know in a couple of years it's like only call me when there's an emergency or like something like that. But in reality, like, you guys are smart, like you can handle all this stuff on your own. So yeah, that is this video, and if you have more questions, let me know.